we can all be very happy in our lives if we understand that we all have a USP, unique selling potential. God has created each one of us uniquely. There's a saying in English which says that uh, don't compare a bird by its ability to swim, or don't compare a fish by its ability to fly, because fish has been endowed with the special skill of swimming, and bird has been endowed with the special skill of flying. If Lata Mangeshkar starts comparing how many runs she can score on a cricket pitch, she will become depressed. And that's what is happening to a lot of students today. So there is something which is very important for all of us to discover our true potential. And that is called the power of guidance. So that there are two very important lessons which we learn from the episode of Mantra. So I'll relate it with COVID-19. So we all know that how careful we are with interacting with someone when in this COVID times we wear PPE kits in hospitals and we wear face masks and we say keep social distancing, right? Social distancing, like 2 meters and all that stuff. But we forget to apply these same principles of a protection kit, of a face mask, of a social distancing when we interact with people in this world. It is said that you are an average of 5 people whom you regularly associate with. Association is so powerful in this world that association can actually make us elevated, make us go down, make us feel motivated, make us feel depressed. Association is the strength in this age of Kali Yuga. So I'll show you few statistics on distraction. So our gadgets, they have a great influence on our minds. And today, you see, even in the times of COVID, where people are so fearful, people are having so much fear, a lot of fear is coming out because of the constant news which is coming in the media. And I have heard some researchers which say that switch off your televisions and your immunity level will be better, because you will be less bombarded with the news of this is happening, that is happening, and all the negativity which we are being influenced. You see, 1 out of 7 days is lost on social media. Social media has become so powerful a tool. Social media has its right uses. Nobody denies it. But we also need to be careful of the Surpanaka factor which it brings on along with it. Like it says that the statistics say that all Americans collectively check smartphones 8 billion times every day. 89% of people who were surveyed said that the first thing they do in the morning is checking their smartphones. So human attention span has come down drastically, and this is one reason why students are facing so many challenges in concentration and focus in their work, in their studies. So this world has become a world of mass distraction. So attention span was 12 seconds in 2000, and the same attention span has gone down to 8 seconds in 2017. Among fishes, there's a special fish called as goldfish, which has an attention span of 9 seconds. Congratulations, all of us have bet even a fish in becoming less attentive. So this is what is happening to the modern generation. In the age group of 18 to 24, in a survey, when they were asked, what do you do when you have nothing to do? 77% of them replied that they check their smartphones. And above 65 years, only 10% had the same answer. Let me show you some statistics on intoxication. See, there are 27 crore students in schools from 1st to 12th standard. 15 lakh schools are catering to the needs, and 3 lakh students are studying in universities and colleges. 30 crore population. So in a total of 30 crore student population in India, do you know that every day 2000 crores of rupees worth drugs are smuggled across the border every day. Every single day across the whole world, 18 billion cigarettes are smoked every day. 18 billion is the number. This is daily. 6.75 trillion cigarettes annually are smoked. Here comes the role of spirituality. Spirituality, a healthy lifestyle and a healthy process of meditation, the power of sound, all these can help us to say no to distractions. This is a tale of two very famous personalities from Chicago. One of them is Easy Eddie and another is Butch O'Hare. Easy Eddie was the most famous lawyer of Chicago. And all the mafias and all the rogues and all the underworld guys, all the underworld people would take help of Easy Eddie. And Easy Eddie was so good at his work, so good at his lawyer. He was a lawyer, so good at presenting the case, that none of the mafias would ever be put into jail because of Easy Eddie, because Easy Eddie would make them win. And the mafia gave so much money and so much wealth and so many cars and so much opulence, everything to Easy Eddie. But as Easy Eddie grew up, he had a son whom he was thinking that when my son grows up, what will my son think about me? What will my son think about his father? His father was a great lawyer who helped the mafias to not get into jail after doing crimes. He thought, all my public victory is useless. For my son, what I want to give is my private victory. That I was a sane man. I was a good man. I want to give that inspiration to my son. And Easy Eddie, one fine day, had a press conference, released all the evidences against these mafias, and hundreds of the top mafias and underworld people were put into jail. And many more were in the process. You know what happened? Very soon the mafias understood that if we don't kill him, we are all going to end up in trouble. And the mafia, they came in a car to his office and shot him dead. Tens of bullets on his chest, and he was dead. Now I'll tell you another story. This story is of Butch O'Hare. Butch O'Hare was a person in the military, a fighter pilot in the military, US Army, who was awarded with the most prestigious high rank awards which are given to the military people and US citizens, US Army. And Butch O'Hare was a fighter pilot who fought with Japan, and it is said that one time 9 fighter planes, Japanese fighter planes, were attacked one of America's very important place. And Butch O'Hare was so courageous. He was such a nationalist, such a person who was so fired up for his nation, that he single-handedly went and 2 of the fighter planes he shot, his guns were over, his bullets were over. After that, he went flying to one of the fighter planes and was trying to knock the wings of the other fighter plane. And like that, 5 of the fighter planes were finished by Butch O'Hare. And the other 4 were thinking that this guy has gone crazy. What has happened to this thing? How is he getting so much inspiration? And what is he doing? Our life is at risk. And other 4 also ran away from there. And he was awarded with the highest awards in military. And the international airport of Chicago was named after him, O'Hare International Airport. Do you know what is the connection between Butch O'Hare and Easy Eddie? Butch O'Hare was none other than the son of Easy. He was the son for whom Easy descended.
How does a medical student, or for that matter, any student, whether law student, engineering student, despite of having tough academic schedule, how does it take out time for all this spirituality and can you share with your own personal experience?
Okay, sure, I can do that because this question was relevant to me also. I will tell you my time when I was in, say, second MBBS, undergraduate. Well, the first thing I had to do to make a good schedule was to sleep early. Most of our students, typically students, wake up in the night. They are all, candlelight people who just burn the night lamp, and they're like up till 4 in the morning, right? And they think they're doing a good job. Some of my parents had inculcated into me the habit that you sleep early. So I would sleep by about, say, 9:30, 10. That would give me a good 6 hours sleep, and I would get up at 4 in the morning. That was my regular schedule for my entire time during the UG, which was the toughest time. Second MBBS certificate was very tough. A lot of things to learn and do and this and that, right? So then I would take a bath, and then I would actually go in the morning and pluck some flowers for a small temple I had in my home. And then that would give me some, a sense of sweetness, some mellowness, some sort of divinity would, come into my consciousness because I was plucking flowers for the Lord. And I would feel very nice about the whole thing. I had a small little arati. And then I would start, doing a meditation, what's called as mantra meditation. That would take about an hour and a half. That would give me so much of spiritual energy, and give me so much of motivation to do now. Okay, now I'm ready to jump into the college. I'll leave, take a quick breakfast in 15 minutes, and off hours at 8 o'clock for my college. It was 10 minutes walk. Right? So, the important, my dear friends, is to keep a rigid schedule. Number one, don't spend a lot of time on useless gossip, right, which just goes on all the time in colleges, right? You just sit around, kya chal raha hai yaar? And you say, kya chal raha hai? Then everything starts in the world. Kya chal raha hai? वो ऐसा कर रही है, वो ऐसा कर रहा है, वो इसने ऐसा बोला, वो ऐसा देखा, तू सुना क्या, पढ़ा क्या? All sorts of things goes on. नहीं बाबा, रे बाबा, अभी पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा. So I would really avoid people who are really just guys who are just what called time pass fellows. फर्स्ट टाइम ऐसा टाइम पास लोग बहुत लोग मिलते हैं. टाइम पास को अरे हेलो कैसा सब ठीक है चलो, राइट? You are very focused. You made friendship with people who really meant important in your life. So believe again, उसको भी थोड़ा discrimination लगता है, right? So by keeping a good schedule, avoiding time pass things, at the same time keeping the body fit with good amount of sleep, I would spend about 15-20 minutes on exercise regularly. I would jog, I would do yoga, I would do breathing exercises because I knew that I needed that extra energy to keep my body fit, right? I would take milk, I would take dry fruits, keep my body going on well, right? So in this way, what we call holistic, as a student also I learned that I must take care of my body, my mind, and my consciousness. By doing that in a fixed schedule and learning that student life is a time when you actually start cultivating good or bad habits, right? In school life, you are more or less under your parents, but once you get into college, you are free, you make your own choices. So I started making the right choices, and the spirituality I got into really helped me to make the right choices right in the beginning. So fixed schedule, avoiding time pass people, focusing on mental health, physical health, and consciousness, that really gave me a focus. And therefore, because I was avoiding all unnecessary stuff, I was not in television, just the news and all, I'm not sitting in front of television and seeing some serial for hours together. So really getting the what we call as focus. And the camera has to focus, right? You focus and zoom into your studies, avoiding all unnecessary stuff. That really gives so much of extra time in spite of all the tutorials and extra lectures and board work and journal work, etc. All was done properly. And that's really possible. It was possible not only for me, but all my colleagues and my friends who are like me or like-minded people into spirituality. We all fared very well in our exams.
Any final one-line message for our youth here today?
One-line message. I would say two things. Give it all you have and never give up. Two things. Give your studies all that you have. Give it the best within you. Give it to the best part of your life, and the student life, right? And secondly, whatever happens, never give up, right? Keep struggling for the right thing and never give up. Two things.